Hey everybody, Mike here with a new video for you today. Today's video came about from a question I received asking how can I create an intro that I can use in my videos when I'm editing my videos in iMovie. And I use iMovie, so I thought, you know what, this ought to be fun. I'm going to go ahead and give it a try. So let's get into it, and we're going to learn how to make a basic intro to your video. All right, folks, very simple. What you do is you already in my media, you already have your media, like this would be my video, and then this is my what they call an outro, or what I use, but I don't have an intro. So what I would do is you would go to back backgrounds. These are all the world ones. I don't use these. I'm use these down here, and if you just run your cursor across, you can get a sample of what each one does. As you can see, I've used gradient and industrial. That's pinstripe. The stars, I've used the retro. And then you have all the colors. So, you got a pretty good selection. I've used black. So let's use the black one. What I do is double click and that drops it down here into the editing portion. Now you've got nothing up here written or anything you're doing. So let's go ahead and put a title in there now. All right, so we go to titles. And same thing, you can run your cursor over it to see which one is suitable for what you're going to do. All right, and you can see. Sorry, I'm going fast. You can see, and then they've got some fancy ones down here that are pretty cool. I like this one. Whew, pretty cool. But for this tutorial, we're going to do this now. I hold down on my mouse, and I drag it over to here so that it will land right where I need it. And we're going to go ahead and make sure that it's sitting where it's supposed to. Now here's where you would do your text. So sometimes I have a problem in here, so bear with me. This ought to be pretty interesting. Um, Probably be good for a blooper video. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do it. Here's where all your fonts are, and you have a choice of a few up here. The one I use the most is the Futura Medium, but you know what? You guys can use whichever one you want. Let's make sure that's highlighted. I want to keep things simple, so we're going to go ahead. Because I want to use the same size. When you're typing, what'll happen here is if you type like a few words, they'll be real huge, and then you type down below and you got a longer sentence and they get smaller. So I found with this particular one that the 120 will allow me, for the most part, on the font size, will allow me for the most part to keep all the words the same. So let's do, I don't know, let's type in something. Okay, so let's go ahead. We're going to go ahead and type in my auction winnings. And we'll go down here. Now you'll see this one still stayed that font, so I want it to match. So I go down and I get the future medium. And then it's going to be huge. So we don't want that, so we want the 102. And let's go ahead and let's put in the title for the last video I just put up. We'll go with Thrifty Treasures. And you can tell it's pretty much the same in the 102 on here. And then I clicked up there, and then you notice you don't see it down here yet. There you go. This is how this works. Okay, it's just going to be as long and then it'll fade out. So let's go ahead and see. Let's run it and just see what it looks like. Now I'll show you what I mean by allowing you to transition. So we'll go back to the media. Now, if this is going to be my intro, then I want a transition. And you have several here. They'll show you. You have the cross dissolve, cross blur, and you can just pick the ones you like in here. Um, as you can see, you can just sample them all. What I would do if you're going to use a transition, I would I've seen some people where like they'll use the dissolve and then they'll transition into something else and they'll on the same video and they'll use a whole bunch of these, and that's just kind of crazy. I'd find one that you like to use, and so let's keep it simple. You just double click and that's gonna, well, no, we gotta drag it. Now what'll happen is, you see it'll shortens this up. It shortened it up to 3 seconds. See, so what you can do is right here you double click on that, and I'm going to change this to a transition of only a half a second, and then I'm going to click apply. Now that gave me 3.5, and there's 4. So what we want to do, we don't want it to run over. We're going to grab this, and I like to keep everything the same. Okay, now I want to transition into my video, or you would want to transition into yours. You hit the plus sign, it's going to load it. Let's kind of shorten that up a bit so you can see what's going on. And scroll over. Because I want you to see where you can work with this here. I'm gonna turn the volume down because this is all about the intro. All right, so your videos, you're getting ready to you want to view what you're going to do or how it's going to look before you go ahead and you go into the part where you save it to up here, where you would save it to either theater, email, or I usually use file, and that puts it on my desktop. So you get your thing over here all the way, and you hit play. Okay, you see how that, now you can change the transitions all you want. You can click here and you can delete it and then go up here and get a different transition. Say you don't like that one, maybe you want to use the cube, and then you grab it and you put it in there, and it's already at a half a second. Okay, so let's see what it does, how it looks. So as you can see, that's how you make a simple transition, not a transition, but a simple intro. I hope this video was helpful. If you found it informative, please give a thumbs up. Leave the comments that you have down below. If you've got a question, go ahead and ask your question down below in the comments. And as always, if you don't want your question to be seen by everybody in the world, you can either send it to me through the messaging system in YouTube, or you can always use the email address askmike@yahoo.com. And today I just pray that God blesses you all with great health, much success, happy family, good life, cool weather, and a ton of sales. So that's it for today's video, and we'll see you in the next one. Rollin Picker out.